Hello, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Late Night with Rebel tonight. I'm your host, Rebel here, and we have another good interview for you. This is interview number 290. I know that's crazy. Also, the first interview of the new year, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Just a quick reminder: obviously, we take an ad break 1 hour into the stream, and also if you have any questions, questions with an S, and also if you're ever curious at any point in time during the Twitch chat, you're like, "Who are you interviewing, man? I don't know who this person is." You can always just type in guess, so GUESTS guess, and it will link to Firefox Blue's Twitch channel, so you can check them out when they go live. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show, and without further ado, introducing our guest, Firefox Blue, coming from behind the curtains.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to my show. Hopefully, it's been a long time.
It has been forever. Last time I was on here, I wasn't even talking.
That's true. That's one of the things we're going to be discussing, actually. Yeah, I like the RP walk. I like the attention to detail. It's almost like, since I last interviewed you, you got a lot of upgrades. You got the RP walk, you got the face tracking, mouth tracking, you got everything. This is like Firefox 2 at this point, 2.0.
Yeah, lots of upgrades over the last couple of years.
Exactly. But how are you feeling today? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling a little nervous? Excited?
I'm definitely feeling a little nervous.
It's okay. Listen,
I don't know why I just didn't feel prepared to talk.
we're just hanging
I almost
out.
wish I could do this as a mute again.
Really? You want to do this again as a mute? I mean, we could do that later,
I'm like right now, I haven't prepared any answers, but we'll go mute. I'll let you just improv.
It's okay, I've done a lot of interviews. You could say I'm used to people being a little nervous, so don't worry about it. Anyway, so obviously I sent you a bunch of questions, and here we go. So one of the questions I asked is, a pretty important one, because obviously the last time I interviewed you and a lot of other people in the VR chat community, a lot of them were mutes at the time, and you were a mute when I first met you, and obviously we have hung out here and there, and obviously you're a talker now, obviously. So the question is, how did it initially feel to finally unmute publicly on stream and to your friends?
It feels the same as it does now. Exceedingly awkward. When I first unmuted, I was like, just going through stuff, an emotional mess as I continue to be. And I just needed to be heard, I guess. I just got to a point where I just had things that I just needed people to hear me and know who I was. And my reason for unmuting, I guess, I think it's a fairly common one. I know it's different for everybody, but it comes from the simple fact that I'm transgender. And being able to just be mute and kind of pass in a way in this, silly game we play, I was very comfortable. And the way people treated me was really nice. So being able to, it also kind of hampered my personal progress, though, because I know for me to fully express myself, like in reality, in this game, and whatever, I need to develop my voice. And the only way that happens is through practice and constant use. So, in a way, being a mute kind of got in the way. I became too comfortable, too easy, just kind of the awkwardness that you can still hear. My voice is still kind of unnatural, still something I need to work on. But I'm happy that I'm at least pushing myself to improve now. So even though it feels awkward, even though it felt so, made me so nervous when I unmuted, and I was so distraught about it. And still, I'm proud that I did it, that I stuck with it, that I'm still working on my voice today, and hopefully will lead to a better future for myself.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're unmuted about 2 years ago. So if you really think about it, you could always look at your past self from 2 years and be like, look how far I've come. If one person in the chat's wondering like, why do you have to work on your voice? It's because well, I can't speak, but basically, a lot of people who are transitioning from male to female, you have to voice train. When you take like estrogen and the pills and the medication, it doesn't change your voice. So basically, anyone that's transitioning has to voice train. That's how it works. Now, it doesn't apply if you're female to male. The male hormone testosterone
There's
deepens
still
your voice.
some nuance there, but yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Learning the mannerisms, the speech patterns, on top of things like pitch is a component, but actually not one of the major ones. It's actually the resonance of your voice because your larynx. When you go through male puberty, getting 12 to 18, 20 years old, the testosterone in your body causes your larynx to drop lower into your throat. So the amount of space from your vocal cords in your larynx to your mouth increases, which gives you a lower resonance, which is a masculine trait that you can recognize in someone's voice. So there are surgeries you can have to try and reduce the size of that part of your throat. It can also be done through just training, impersonation, and just like, even with very little training and just knowing a couple of things, you can start to reduce the size of that area. But then you also have to adapt new mannerisms that fit the gender that you're trying to identify as. And that's true transitioning either way, male to female or female to male. Because either gender does have specific mannerisms that you kind of have to adapt and adopt and learn and kind of find that new version of yourself that maybe was always there all along, but it takes work and effort. And it's still something I need to work at, so I'm not all the way there.
I believe in you. I think you got it. It's a tough uphill battle, I've interviewed other people that have transitioned and just friends I met in VR chat, and a lot of them feel very subconscious, about their voices, and you hear your voice, you're like, that's not me. I want to sound more masculine. I want to sound more feminine and stuff like that, and it's very, very tough. Now, obviously, I'm not transgender. I'm just a straight dude, but I can still understand the struggles of that type of stuff. And I've heard many of my friends, use like voice trainers to increase their pitch or lower their pitch. I've heard of, voice training, and like, what a lot of people, do as well is, like you said, like a lot of people are mute because they're not comfortable with their voice, when someone voice reveals and it's like, hey, what's up, guys? What's going on? Everyone's going to be like, bro, what the... And then, people are going to be like, well, that's a dude. It's a dude, bro. It's a dude, when you're like...
I will say with, I don't know, it's, I guess, a personal mindset I have around transitioning and around trying to maintain positivity of your self-image, because most transgender women, not all, and transgender men often suffer from dysphoria, and that can be body dysmorphia, it can be over your voice, the way you sound, and there is like this nuanced position I feel like you have to find for yourself, and that is an acceptance of who you are and a love for who you are, even though if you're like me and you have that really strong dysphoria, I cannot look in a mirror IRL without being full of self-hate, and it's really negative. So finding ways you can accept who you are and still be willing to change and seek to get yourself to where you want to be. So taking care of yourself. So with me, I guess growing up male, I wasn't who I wanted to be, I didn't date people because I didn't want to date girls. I just want to be a girl. And I just was very confusing. And I didn't take care of myself because, like, I just didn't understand what I wanted. And I was like, well, I'll just die alone. So, like, I'll try and keep healthy, but, like, I wasn't very good about grooming myself and, like, just taking care of my body because I didn't love who I was. And even though I'm transitioning, it doesn't mean I flip a magical switch where suddenly I'm, like, a beautiful girl. It's, like, a whole process. I'm learning to love your body, even if it doesn't fit what you want, while still, like, trying to change it and use what resources you have through hormones, through surgeries, and just being aware that, honestly, dysphoria never goes away. If you are a transgender woman and you have dysphoria and you're in the early stages of transitioning, even with the best surgeries in the world, even if you come out looking like a CoverGirl magazine, whatever, you will still have dysphoria. It is just baked into your psyche at that point. So finding ways to deal with that and accept yourself and still being willing to, like, improve yourself, improve your grooming, learning makeup, just self-care, while also pursuing things that are like hormones, like surgery. I don't know, it's like this balanced perspective you have to have and accepting who you are while still having the ambition to change who you are, to be closer to what you want to be. And finding ways to deal with the dysphoria and still loving yourself, even through the rougher parts of transitioning, which is something I deal with. It's easy in VR chat because I'm gorgeous. VR chat, I'm beautiful, flawless skin, beautiful hair, whatever. No effort. So, going through the IRL and acknowledging my body for what it is and dealing with that, accepting myself and loving myself, it's been quite a journey. My voice is definitely part of that as well. Something I am always working on, and that is one of the beautiful things about VR chat, because I can have the feedback of looking at a mirror or a camera or whatever and seeing a beautiful woman and being able to be like, well, from a beautiful woman should come a beautiful voice. So it does help me with my confidence in working on my voice and having that kind of, like, positive feedback just between the image I see in the mirror, as fake and silly as it is kind of helpful in that way.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna bring that up as, like, a follow-up, but I guess you answered it right there. Yeah, I was gonna say my follow-up was about VR chat, because I feel like obviously VR chat, for a lot of people who are transitioning, you know, they log into VR chat for the first time, buy a headset, they use a female avatar or a male avatar, and I've actually first-hand experienced a friend a long time ago. Lily burst into tears. Now, initially, I was very confused because they didn't tell me about their situation at all. It was just they switched into an avatar, started, like, breaking down, like, fell down, broke down. I was just like, what happened? Why is this person crying? Like, what happened? Someone die? Like, what's going on? And then
it is a very intense experience.
Yeah, I was just genuinely, like, very confused. And then she told me, she's like, I feel whole now. Like, I feel like myself. Like, I feel super happy. And I was just like, what, you like the avatar? She's like, this is me. Like, I actually feel, for the first time in my life, I am who I want to be. And again, you know, at the time I was confused. Now I get it now. I'm like, oh, it's because, you know, they wanted to be a woman the whole time.
Yeah, VR chat is an amazing way to explore that part of it. I remember, and it's a question you originally had for me that you were just asking about the first time I got into VR or VR chat. And I didn't have a very specific, like, story, but I know when I first got it, this was actually before I had full body. I had VR, I saw this game, I was like, what is this, whatever. And I put on a female avatar. And it freaked me out because it's what I always wanted in my life. It felt so right. It felt so good. And I was so afraid to have something that felt that way. That, like, I have always wanted to transition, but for most of my life, I never considered it a legitimate thing that you can just do. Like, there were transgender women, but they were, like, so otherworldly, so unrelatable to me, just because I never had personal connections with any transgender women in my life. So when I got into VR chat, I tried out a girl avatar, I looked in a mirror, and I had that, like, feeling of being who I wanted to be in such an intense and surreal and visceral way. It was, I didn't play the game for like a year or two after that.
Really?
Because it freaked me out so much. It was such a strong reaction.
Damn.
And I didn't know what to do with it. It was scary. So I actually didn't get into VR chat for a long time. I ended up playing Blade and Sorcery, this fun sword game.
Yeah.
And I bought Full Body for that game. So when I came back to VR chat, it was because I was looking for other games with Full Body. And I was like, it's a very short list.
Yep.
And I got into VR chat again, and I got on a girl avatar again. And this time, I had full control of my legs, my hips. And I just stood in a mirror, and I'm like, I'm done for. I am just done for. So,
Oh shit! Do you regret not
definitely-
playing for a year or two, or do you still stand by like, yeah, it was probably good that I didn't play for a year or two until I came back with Full Body?
Well, the connections I made when I came back, I don't know if I would have made them earlier. I
Okay.
was very lucky. I met Crumpet,
Yep.
I think a month into when I had started playing again. So I was just standing in a Void Club mirror, just looking at myself move, trying to learn how to dance. And I met Crumpet, and that led me to meet Veronica and Jade, who are notable women in this community who I was able to talk to and actually understand which being transgender was, because at the time I really didn't know. And it just resonated so strongly with me and deeply. I'm like, I have always wanted this, and I have never met somebody I was able to talk so openly about and not feel deep shame. Because my family, it's a long story, but being transgender, my family was very much frowned upon. And even though growing up I had shown many signs of presenting as a girl, my grandma once found me putting on makeup and dressing as a girl when I was really, really young. And she picked me up, put me in a garbage can, and called me human garbage because of that.
What the fuck?
So I had a lot of negative feedback for my desire to be feminine growing up as a child. So I was always so deeply ashamed of any tendency I had. So when I finally met women who had gone through that experience and who had made that decision, it just opened my eyes so much. And I'm like, this is what I want. It's what I've always wanted, and I'm going for it. So within 5-6 months of starting this game
Yeah.
and meeting those women, I started on HRT. I started taking care of myself a lot better. I started learning how to do makeup. I started learning how to dress and find clothes that fit my body and still let me express as feminine and stuff. And it's been like 2 years since then now, so I still feel so awkward, like an ugly duckling. And I hope it's a bad mindset to have, but I think it would be wrong to deny that it's the mindset most transgender women have is the desire to pass as a woman, or if you're female to male, as a man. It's good to accept yourself and love yourself no matter what other people think and see. But as I am working, like, I will admit it is the desire, my desire, and the desire of most transgender individuals to be able to be identified by the layman as the gender you desire to be or desire to present as or that you are. So I hope I get there. I'm working on it. It is a process. It takes time. Years even. So we'll see. I've got my fingers crossed that all works out though.
I gotcha. My next question is, how'd you get into the hand visual ASMR that you do on stream and for other people? How'd you get into that?
So I've loved ASMR on just YouTube. I have 2 channels that I just loved. One called the ASMR Darling, and another one called the ASMR Magic that became like my absolute favorite. And they just do a lot of ASMR stuff, all sorts of different triggers, audio, stimulation, whispering, tapping. One of my favorite weird videos, one of my favorite ASMR triggers was she took this umbrella and put it over the binaural microphone she had, and then put like shaving cream on the umbrella, and the weird popping, bubbling sound of the shaving cream on top of that membrane. It was so cool. It sounded so interesting. It was so relaxing. And they would also do visual ASMR where they would just kind of brush the camera with like little makeup brushes or just put their fingers over it. And that was definitely a big inspiration. As well as I have memory of sitting in a church pew with my family every Sunday, being bored out of my mind. And my dad had a thing where I would just like lay on his lap or whatever, and he would just run his fingers and just like, he would call it brushing my eyebrows or whatever, and he would just kind of touch my face and just kind of, as we're just sitting there and I'm bored out of my mind, just kind of, it's a very loving, beautiful, just show of affection, just this physical love language. So being able to share that in VR chat where we have this limit on physical touch, but still having that feeling of closeness and intimacy in a very like pure and loving way that's very affectionate.
Yeah.
It just became something I did for other people. And people really liked it, and I really liked having it done to me, so when I started streaming, I just kind of started doing that to my camera a lot as well, and became a whole thing. And there are lots of mutes who do it, lots of streamers in VR chat who focus not just on audio ASMR, which has been around for forever, and so is visual ASMR. Like, they've both been around forever. But I definitely feel like I popularized the visual ASMR components, especially within VR chat streaming. So, yeah.
It's all you, FFB. Everyone wants to be like you. They want to do the hand ASMR. I'm just kidding. But on a more like, I do feel ASMR tingles. I remember when ASMR first became a thing. When was that? Like 2012, 13? I can't remember when it first like started blowing up on YouTube. I thought it was odd when it first popped up, but I started watching some of it and I was like, wait, I actually get the tingles, man. Am I weird? What's happening to me, man? And I watched a few videos,
Yeah.
but never, yeah, I never really like returned to like watching it on a regular. I remember just listening to like the rain, or like that's why a lot of like VR chat worlds have like the rain sound and stuff like that, and I can feel it. I do get the tingles on specific things, but I started seeing like the weird side where like people are doing like serial killer ASMR. They're like, "I'm gonna stab you," and you hear this blade, and I'm like, "Bro, what in the, bro, what?"
Hey, I will admit, after so many hours of doing humming, tapping, and visual stuff, sometimes you just get a little ridiculous and you pull out a knife and go, "Oh, you'll love me forever, won't you?" And
Yeah, I
you
was like,
yandere.
yeah, I was like,
And it's funny.
what the hell did I just what the hell? So when I started seeing that stuff, I was like, I can't watch this anymore or really be a part of that. But fast forward to VR chat, I never really had Phantom Sense really in VR chat. I never really experienced. A few times I've have in a very extreme case where like, well, basically very quickly I was in a role play, I was doing my thing, and then somebody was like brought like fanning, like with like an actual fan, and it was also a hot summer day in real life, so I had the fan on me. So every time they were fanning me, I felt like wind on my face. I was like, wait, is this Phantom Sense? I was like really tripping out. I was like, whoa, this is weird. And the only other time I've ever felt Phantom Sense is actually with you and like one other person where you do the hand ASMR. Like I've actually felt something. Like it felt like you're brushing my hair or like the back of my neck. I felt like those tingles. And I was like, oh my god. You know, do I have Phantom Sense now? Did Firefox Blue unlock my my Phantom Sense? That's like the only other time I've ever felt something. And that was because you're in VR. Like desktop, I feel like 1% out of like 100, but like in VR, it's a lot stronger. So I felt something. I was like, whoa, this is interesting. And it's usually just like the hand ASMR stuff, which I can't do, but you know, I think people understand what I'm trying to say. That's just my experience with hand ASMR and stuff like that. Which leads into one of my my questions here. So I didn't know this until the other day, but I did. Well, most people have YouTube channels, but you actually had a YouTube channel where you do visual ASMR, where you, and not only that, it wasn't just some YouTube video. It was actually a video that was 180 degrees VR video. So if you were in VR and you boot up the video, you would be sitting there and Firefox Blue would be in front of you, and you can look around and be like, "Ooh, what's going on here?" So where'd you come with those ideas, you know, for that? Because I never seen that before.
So when I first got my first VR headset was actually the Gear VR from Samsung, where you just like slot it in your phone. It was better than most of the like really cheap novelty ones. Like it was like co-developed with Oculus and Samsung.
Yep.
It had better sensors and stuff. But one of the applications they had on the Oculus Store for mobile, which was the thing at the time, was YouTube. And YouTube had like little to no VR content. And I was hoping to find ASMR videos because at the time I really loved ASMR, and I felt like having that really relaxing, positive, affectionate experience that most videos tend to go for would work really, really well in a virtual reality format. But they simply did not exist at all. So it's always something I kind of was like, it's a niche I feel like I can make and fill or whatever. And then as I've learned like Unity work and avatar stuff, and I wrote a shader to accomplish having a camera in VR chat that you could use to record VR content, which is on all of my avatars now. And yeah, it's something I need to work on my YouTube channel more.
Yeah.
I need to upload more videos. It's been like a year.
Yeah, it's like a drug.
Yeah.
I was like, where's more? I need more. Got his hook. I was blown away. I've never seen it. If you don't check it out, like Firefox Blue visual ASMR, I I was actually just stunned. Like, I actually didn't know. I was like, I've seen 360 videos. I've seen that in like VR, or not, sorry, on YouTube and stuff like that. But never like, it was 180 degrees. So it wasn't 360, it was 180, and it worked in VR. And all it was just, you know, Firefox doing their hand ASMR with like rain in the background or like some ambient noise. And I was like, wait, this is like a huge market. What the heck?
That format. So 180 degree VR versus 360. It's really useful if if the person is sitting down, if you have content behind them and they have to like move around and like look behind them, most of the time they just won't.
Yeah.
And so it's actually kind of annoying to have a full video. So 180, it lets you have much higher angular resolution with a lower resolution video relative to a full panoramic. And where it's most popular and where most videos are made are, of course, where you see most internet innovations, and that is in pornography. It's a very popular format for those kinds of videos.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, go on.
I have tried to make mine more focused on just ASMR.
Oh, of course.
And just to kind of fill the niche of that I saw when I first got into VR and I wanted VR ASMR experiences. And I do hope to get better at it. And just add it as a part of like my Twitch channel, my YouTube channel, and have it hopefully help me develop as a content creator. So we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like you could go far with it. I'm telling you, I've never seen that before from a VR creator. So I was just like, wait, this is like a massive opportunity, and I think you could go really far. You could be like a million sub channel within a year if you kept it up, like doing it like once a week at the very least, and just
honestly, if I did a video a week, I mean, who knows? But I could see that happening, which is crazy. And why haven't I done it? It's been a year since I
know, what the heck?
technology.
You have the eye tracking now. You have the face track. It's even more. People are like, whoa, wait, she winked at me? Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm giving you all the ideas. All right, you start back tomorrow, right? Right, guys? Make a video tomorrow? Please.
Well, so I did make it a sub goal to make another video, and my chat did get me to my sub goal.
Oh, there you go.
So I do owe them a video.
Hell yeah. I'm going to be your first viewer. I'm going to be your first commenter on that one. I'm going to be like, all right, let's go. Hell yeah. Anyway, my next question is, what are some of your favorite like worlds or events to visit in VR chat? Is there any like, you know, worlds you constantly go to because it's, you know, just a chill place, or an event is like a club, or, you know, stuff like that?
So it has changed throughout the years. When I first got into VR chat, my prime world was the rest and relaxation world. It was a great way to meet people. I totally got into doing ASMR there. I was a mute, so I would just walk up to people who I could tell weren't fully asleep, just mirror dwelling or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would start doing it for them, and it was awkward because you just go up to somebody and start touching their face. You have to be really careful to just try not to be annoying them. So like, I would just go and I would kneel down and I would look as cute and like submissive as possible. And if they looked over and waved at me, I would wave back, kind of nod your head, do the whole mute routine where you kind of introduce yourself to someone before you just like go and touch their face though, because that is it's such an intimate like private thing. And in VR chat, those barriers are kind of broken down mostly, but they're still there. So a lot of people just like go up, head pat you, touch your face, whatever, just as soon as they meet you, and you're like, whoa, hello, back off a sec. You know, I have no idea who you are. So when I was first getting into this game, I definitely had a routine I would do to like approach someone in a rest and relaxation world as a mute and get to the point where I could do hand ASMR for them because I knew people would love it, and they did. And people I made a lot of friends who like would add me and then come back and be like, "Hey, do you still do that hand thing? Can you do that for me?" And I loved doing it for hours for anyone I could. So for a long time it was that, and then Void clubs. I started hanging out because I like just dancing to the music that the world's auto played, and then I started getting into dancing more and more. I met Crumbit and a Void club very quickly into playing the game in like the first month. And I got way into dancing, which was great for me. Like, it got me so healthy. I am in the best shape of my life today, better than I have ever been because of VR chat and dancing. So that has been super awesome. So there have been a lot of dance worlds that I visit regularly these days. Obviously, for a long time, I was part of the Gator, so that was my hunting grounds for a long time of where you would find me. Nowadays, I don't know, I've been kind of bouncing around homeworlds, trying to pick one I really like. And of course, just hanging out on my streams, exploring worlds, and hanging out with Crumpet these days, so yeah.
Okay. That's all very, very interesting that you used to do ASMR for people and then they'd fall asleep and stuff like that. That's very interesting. What's something you miss about the old days of VRChat, like from your early days, or something you did like a year ago or 2 years ago? Is there something that's like, man, this doesn't happen anymore, but I wish it did?
Well, I don't do publics anymore
Okay.
at all, especially since I started talking.
Okay.
If you have a good community, you don't really have to worry about getting misgendered. You don't have to worry about getting bullied. But VR chat publics are what they are, and there are lots of toxic people there. So I do kind of miss the freedom I felt like I used to have, and I still could go to publics. But I will say, having been a streamer now, I'm not famous, but I do get recognized in VR chat. And it was kind of nice to just like not have any expectations. Any like no one knew who I was. I was just there to be cute and like form connections with people, and I don't do that as much these days, and I do miss that. And it's not so much that the game has changed, and maybe it has.
Yeah.
I don't know if publics have gone worse or if I'm just looking through rose-tinted glasses. But yeah, publics these days are like, well, I don't know how I played the game and spent so much time, exclusively in publics. So yeah.
No, I feel that publics have always been a hit or miss. You know, I started playing VRChat 5 years ago in Publix, and it was a different vibe back then. You know, there's way less kids. The only people that had VR were adults that worked. Now VR is a lot more accessible and things like that. I haven't been to a public, and I couldn't tell you. I don't even know at this point. Like, too long. I just hang out with friends and go to Friends Plus parties, events, things like that. There's a lot of negative people, but I mean, it's almost like you can compare a public in VR chat to how it is in like Call of Duty. Call of Duty, I last played that game like 10 years ago. I can still play Call of Duty today and still like hear a racial slur within 5 seconds. It's like a timeless thing that always happens regardless of how old you are or how much time has passed. Have publics gotten worse in VR chat? I wouldn't say I'm the best judge of character because I don't really go to Publix, but based on what other people say, it really depends on the world. People always say like, well, the Black Cat's pretty bad. What's the other one? FPT Heaven, whatever is a popular world, typically has a lot of negative bad actors. Now, if you were to go to a public, a very obscure world, like I remember a public that usually is pretty positive is like the Japanese Shrine, or like any like the non like, you know, I remember like some like Spanish world. I would join there. I wouldn't know any Spanish, but a lot of people were just chilling. I went to the Japanese world. There's a bunch of Japanese people just like, oh, hello, hello. Like they're just chilling. Like nobody was like crashing or anything. So it really depends on where you're going. I always say if you actually want to meet people, go to smaller like worlds that don't have 50 people in them, like 10. because trolls go to bigger worlds. They don't go to dinky worlds with nobody in it. Or like game worlds, you go to like play murder or something like that. I guess the other thing is like the best way to meet people in Publix is that world, no time to talk. I think if you really generally want to meet random strangers and potentially make some friends, that's the best world to make friends. Is go to that world and hopefully make some friends out of that. But anyway, my next question is, how'd you get into music and playing guitar? Because obviously you play guitar sometimes on stream and stuff. So I'm generally curious, what your experience is with that.
So, I'm a very mediocre player. Like, I have no illusions. There's so many people way more talented than I am. And so I don't make it a very big part of my stream. Just, I think keeping it very rare keeps the hype up for it. Because the truth is, on Twitch, even if you're being a very talented musician, it's not a very good way to entertain on Twitch for most streams. I've seen people way more talented than me who will sit there and play stuff I could not play in 100 years to like 5 viewers. So
Yeah.
the truth about music is it takes so many hours of practice and stuff just to get a couple minutes of content that is enjoyable for somebody else. And whereas Twitch is like about having hours and hours and hours of content every week, every day, whatever, it's really hard to make music and your actual performance of music fit in there without it being kind of a rare occasional thing. But I got into it, I guess, just in high school. For guitar specifically at least. I just had a guitar class in high school and I really enjoyed it. I had played cello throughout junior high and high school, and I am the worst cellist in the world. I did such a terrible job of practicing, of frankly understanding any of what was going on musically. But for some reason, guitar really clicked for me, and I just enjoyed it. And I've spent over 10 years now just learning it and slowly improving. I'm not a very focused musician, so even though I've been playing so long, I'm still only very mediocre. But yeah, it's kind of a random high school class that sounded good.
I gotcha. I mean, like you said, music on Twitch is very hard. I remember, another streamer that you would know of, Chips, aka Stealth RG. He actually started as a music streamer before VR chat, and he would play music. He was actually an actual band, and he would play and perform. And I remember,
If you can sing as well as play, that goes a long way. I will
Yeah.
say that.
well, back then he only had like 10 or 20 viewers under the music category. It was Shroud that actually rated him with like 10,000 viewers randomly, because Shroud just was browsing randomly Twitch and rated him for a bunch of viewers, and then actually paid for him to have a new microphone, because the microphone he had was ass. So he got a new microphone, and then shortly after he started playing VR chat. But you're right, like being a musician, like I could go to the music category, probably find some people who are like fucking super, like 10 out of 10 best pianist, going crazy, doing this crazy stuff. But a lot of people are kind of like, whatever, dude. Twitch is more about the games and the hot anime girls. So I always say, even though you can play guitar, it can always just be a side thing you can do. You'd be like, hey, we're chilling, let's play guitar. I feel like, yeah, as you said, like purely a focused guitar stream, people are gonna be like, bro, I can go to YouTube and listen to someone play Stairway to Heaven, bro. Like, wow, what the hell? So music is a tough field to get into. There's very few people that I even know on Twitch that purely are musicians and that go really, really
They
far.
do exist.
Yeah.
It can be done, but it is the amount of effort, and you still have to be entertaining
Yeah.
outside of just being musically talented
Oh,
as
absolutely.
well. But yeah, I don't see music as being a very... You have to be both extremely talented, which I'm not, and very entertaining, which I try to be to make like a purely musical channel work. I've seen one of my favorite. So you've heard of TWRP or TWRP? They are a really fun band. They've done a lot of music with Dan Avidan from Game Grumps.
Yep.
And the keyboardist guy and lead singer streams on Twitch, does a lot of musical stuff, is an amazing, talented musician, a band I love that a lot of people have heard of. Doesn't get a lot of viewers. Even though he's such a talented, amazing musician who's done world tours, even that doesn't translate that well to Twitch. So, yeah, really getting a music channel to work would be, you have to have some, like, secret magic sauce to really be able to get that one to go.
It's true. Unless you're like T-Pain or some shit where you're just like, you know, this is your side. He just streams on Twitch, doesn't really do music on, I mean, I guess he does, but like, it's not his main thing. He's already made it, so it doesn't matter if he gets 5 viewers or 5,000. It doesn't matter to him. He's already made it big, so, you know, it's tough. But anyway, moving on. So what is your favorite adventures you've had with Crumpet?
I have a lot of fond memories of
Okay.
early on when I was his mute, going on like mute adventures. There's a lot of, I guess early on when being a mute was I think seen as an RP thing, like having some RP group in like Neon Divide or whatever, where it's like, it's not a business deal, it's not this like long-term partnership that's involved into. It was just like, use it as a way to generate content, use it to create drama within that mute partnership by having you leave and betray your partner and find someone else and make it. It wasn't about, it had no bearing on your actual friendship with people. It was just like a tool to create drama for content. But it changed very quickly to become this like status thing. It had like real financial impact on you as like a streamer. I kind of went crazy. It still is crazy. So, but my fond memories were of a lot of the adventures I went on with Crumpet early on. And recently I've kind of rejoined, just hanging out with him and going on stuff, and that's been really fun as well. I have just an ongoing thing with him right now. I will say I love how much I can be as adorable as possible, and he will just look at me and I can feel him gritting his teeth like, I want to like squeeze your brains out of your head because you're so adorable, and it drives him crazy, and I love that. So I definitely want to break him in the brain. I want him to actually flip out and try and kill me, Lamau, in a video game.
In a VR setting, in a virtual reality
I hope
game.
I can drive him nuts. Yeah.
That's an interesting love-hate relationship you have then. Seems like almost every time I tune in, you're there, and then Crumpet's like, you're being adorable, and then Crumpet's like, get the hell out of here. I grab you, throw you out the window. Goodbye.
Yeah. I enjoy it. I think it's a fun dynamic, and it makes it interesting for stream. I think it is more interesting than like, if he's like, oh, you're so cute, whatever, and then like moves on. I think adding that violent reaction that like people have to like cute things or whatever, it makes it really funny. It makes it really enjoyable for the whole stream, and I enjoy having that dynamic. So it's just really fun.
Okay. I gotcha. Now we're almost coming time to the 1 hour mark, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. Yes. I take,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I know, it's been crazy. Yeah, I take time. I always look at the watch, so I always know when it's time. It's going to happen in like a couple minutes here, because I started my stream early, so about a couple minutes. We can start it early, I think. So let me do that. So I'll go over here and click the buttons. Yeah, I have to do it. So let me do this real quick. So, ladies and gentlemen, on the twitch.tvs, we're going to go for a quick commercial break. Be back in like 2-3 minutes, grab some water, all that jazz. I see you guys in a little bit when this loads up here. Oop. There we go. Alright, can you put the camera back on me? Alright, and then I'll do this. So the ads are still happening for another minute. But I'll just explain really quickly what those ads are. So obviously the first ad is from New Eden Interactive, which is Marina Dragonflame and Anoni. They have a Gumroad store where they sell a bunch of avatars. They were there for my October showcase, so go check them out. Next ad is from Wolfden 3D, which is Zevi and No Fox Given, and they're a part of my October and December showcase. They mostly specialize in making monster girls and furry avatars, so go check them out. And the third one was from Gray, better known as Small Gray. They have another Gumroad. They were part of the December showcase. They sell a bunch of really awesome avatars. I think one of the avatars, actually Crumpet was really interested in the one with like the legs, the robot, like the little robot legs. A lot of people were like really enjoying that one. And then the fourth and final ad is from Mazan, who's a person part of my community. So go check out their Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Mazan. So yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Those are all my Patreon supporters. Not all of them, but like the ones that are, you know, pledging to play their own custom ads during interviews and stuff like that. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Go check them out. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let me just double check here. All right, we're good. I just want to make sure, because obviously some people on Twitch are like, wow, ads, what the hell, I missed the show. So obviously I purposely play ads on Twitch and in game, so you know, they don't miss anything. Because obviously your stories here at Firefox Blue are very important to me, so I want to make sure that everybody, whether you're a subscriber or not, you get to hear your story. You know, I don't want any type of...
Stay over here. I have more stuff to say.
Yeah, exactly. Firefox is so precious. She looks so happily chilling there. It's true. See, even the chat likes it, you know? Anyway, so you're talking about your adventures with Crumpet, your love-hate relationship. My next question actually is a follow-up question. about Crumpet. So, is it true that Murder Crumpet created a secret password that locked you from ever speaking again unless Crumpet says the password, but Crumpet forgot about it and you become a mute ever since? Or after that, sorry. Not like, yeah.
Kumquat was the password.
Really? And Crumpet forgot about it?
Kumquat. Yeah, that was the first day I met him. I was kind of a soft mute, and I think that's pretty common, and that's where you mute yourself in publics. But like when I was in private around someone I trusted, I would unmute to try and connect. And again, this was like super early on in my playing this game, so I unmuted to Crumpet. Like first day I met him, as he just trolls through publics like he does.
Yep.
And this was like the first month of it, or the first week actually, that he had started streaming. And he just randomly came across me. And yeah, I was just shaking my mute booty, looking at a mirror or whatever in a Void Club, which was, novel enough at the time, just having full body tracking.
Yep.
That he took interest. And yeah, he took me to a private world. I said something to him, I don't even remember what it was. And he's like, oh, you'd be better as a mute. Because back in the other world,
Damn.
he was like, oh, I'll show you how to be sexy, how to win guys and whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be really cool. I want to be sexy. But yeah, he gave me a password, Kumquat. Immediately forgot it. And that kind of just became part of my lore as a mute going forward. He did later have somebody rewatch the video and see what he said, and they told it to him. So he did later tell me the password, but he didn't unmute until probably another year after that. So who knows?
Yeah, what's up, Zenfia, AK Sug? What's up? That's interesting, though. They had like that little interaction of like a secret password and being mute. It's like they took your voice. They're like, your voice is mine now. No, you must be mute.
Yeah. Oh, he's Ursulaed a lot of people since then, and it's become a bit of a meme for him as well.
Ursula?
It's fun.
What's that mean?
Yeah, from The Little Mermaid. She changed her voice.
I haven't watched The Little Mermaid in like 20 plus years, maybe when I was like a baby.
It's an old one.
So that went over my head, but now I understand what you're saying. So my next question is, what's your thoughts on eye/mouth tracking? Do you hope it is added to VRChat natively one day? Also, what is the most fun about like the mouth and eye tracking?
It is so awesome. It is so fun. Every little level of immersion that you can get just adds to the experience. Full body was one of those. Face tracking is another one. It adds, in some ways, even more immersion than even full body has. What would VRChat have to do to add it natively? Well, avatars specifically have to have those blend shapes added. So it's really common for you to have voiceings for talking. I don't know if you've ever done avatar setup, but that is part of the VRChat SDK. I believe they could add that in for face tracking as well if they wanted. Right now, it probably doesn't make a lot of sense because there are very few avatars built to support it. So, their OSC implementations have made it relatively easy to just use other tools to take care of that for you. So, I could see it being built in at some point because it's not super hard to do, but there's also kind of no reason for them to at this point. So, it's not like they can just like add it and then suddenly everyone's avatars will have face tracking as well. That still has to be set up in Blender for any given avatar. So It's not like flicking a switch there.
Yeah, you still need a specific avatar. You still need the headset to actually have eye tracking, and you need the Vive facial plate thing as well. So it's like a niche of a niche market. So that's probably why they're like.
So I'm curious about the Oculus Pro or the Quest Pro or whatever.
Yeah, the Quest Pro, yeah.
Because it supposedly has full face tracking. There is a GitHub and also a Discord server around VR chat face tracking. I believe they have either added or they are working to add the Quest Pro face tracking support. But yeah, I don't know how well that works. I'd love to try it out, but that's a $1,300 headset or whatever.
Yeah, it's a huge investment to be like, does this actually work? Buys it, doesn't work, and you're like, wow, well, I just ripped my money.
Right, and it's inside out tracking, so it's not going to play very well with full body.
That's correct.
Which sucks. And in fact, Vive just released their XR3 or their new one as well. Just came out at CES.
Yep.
And it's also inside out. It also has eye and face tracking, so it's great that feature is becoming more popular. But until we see a full body solution that works really well with inside out tracking, it's always going to be annoying to have to like pick between those two features of face tracking versus full body. And right now, the only headset that I've seen that does that really, really well is the Vive Pro Eye, which is now impossible to get your hands on. It's constantly sold out with the Vive facial tracker. So in the future, I think it will get more popular. And hopefully we'll see good full body support go along with those inside out headsets. But until then, it's gonna be very niche. And we'll see. Because it is amazing. It is so fun. I can control my tongue. I can lick my camera and actually lick camera. It works really well for ERP as well for certain things.
Yeah, woo! Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. Yeah, education roleplay.
Oh no.
Epic roleplay.
And I bug Crumpet all the time. I will just sit next to him licking an ice cream cone or whatever, and it's so chewy as I
Yeah, let's go.
So it is really fun to have that control down to your tongue.
Yeah.
There are definitely things that could be improved, but it is a lot of fun.
Yeah. So Barks, because you're asking like how does it work? So there's a headset called the Vive Eye Pro. It has a built-in, basically, I think it's like the Tobii eye tracker from all those years ago. They basically built it in and it tracks the eyes. So it tracks Firefox Blue's eye right now. And then how you track the face or the mouth is that Vive literally made a thing a couple of years ago called the Vive facial tracking, and basically it attaches on top of the headset, and then it tracks mostly the mouth and I think the cheeks. So it's not like, you know, they won't track everything. I don't think. Does it track eyebrows?
So right now its biggest shortcoming is eyebrows.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It tracks my eyelids. It will track dilation of my pupils where my eyes are pointed.
Yeah.
And a lot of expression can come from your eyelids. I do have some rigging happening. So if I frown with my mouth, it will actually make my eyebrows furrow. So, but that is not because it's tracking my eyebrows. That's just using parts of my face to control other parts of my face when it makes sense.
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it works.
So,
yeah, it's getting there. I remember like 2-3 years ago when people first had it, it was like pretty janky. It was like 5 FPS. I was like, yeah, this ain't it. But when OSC came out and people started integrating it, it looked a lot better. Like with yours and a few other friends I have.
OSC helps. And there's also, if you do set up face tracking, there's a tool called OSC Smooth. And it applies the same smoothing to all your face parameters that you see for the IK on your body. So because everybody's parameters in IK is not being updated every frame over the network,
Yep.
you have to smooth out between spots when you're moving your arm or whatever. So adding that same kind of smoothing to the face tracking helps it look a lot better. It looks even better natively. If you are playing and you are looking at a mirror, it looks even better than it does over the network.
I see.
But the smoothing does help out so it doesn't look so choppy.
Does the Vive facial tracking work with Index? I actually don't even know. Does it work, or does it only work for Vive?
So I know Veronica was going to test out. I'm pretty sure it does work. Having face tracking without eye tracking, though,
Yeah, it's gonna look.
I can't say how good or bad that is. I haven't tried it.
It's gonna look a bit jarring. It's like, why aren't your eyes moving, but I can see your tongue moving? Like, what the hell? It's like one without the other, you know?
And I've heard that I have a suspicion that the Quest Pro might actually have better tracking around the eyes for the eyebrows, which is a big part of your expressions.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure though, so don't quote me there. I would love to try it out.
We'll have to see. We'll just wait for somebody to buy it and give a review and be like, yes, this works. Buy this now. You know, somebody will do it. Some YouTuber, someone with a lot of money to burn will buy every headset and do everything they ever want to do and tell us peasants
Just
about
give
it.
Rebel 1,000 subs right now and we can test it out for you.
Hey, I'll take 1,000 subs. Shit. All right. Fuck. I'll do it, man. Sheesh. But anyway, yeah. I mean, we'll have to see how it works. Here's a follow-up question. I'm generally surprised that I don't see more streamers who are mutes that don't use like face tracking and eye tracking, because I think that's like, you know, you have full body, you have a chest track, elbows, knees, whatever. Some people are getting that. But I'm generally surprised that a lot of people who are mutes don't use eye tracking and face. I think that's like the next level right there. Like, they don't need to talk. Now they just see them wink at you. You know, you'd be like, oh, shit.
It's just very niche. Most people don't have headsets that support it.
Mm-hmm.
And then having avatars that support it, it's just not common, I guess.
I guess so. I don't know. I saw, well, you actually commented on it. It was Blackjack's VR's tweet that he made, and he was at a club or whatever, and then somebody was a mute that actually had the face tracking, eye tracking, and they were just like looking at people and like winking or whatever, and everybody was like, whoa, what the hell? And then you commented and was like, I can't remember your exact words, but you were like, yeah, that's, you know, eye tracking, face tracking. So I'm just surprised. I'm just saying, man, if you're a mute out there, you know, and you're streaming and you're, you know, you got some money, you know, buy the Vive Eye Pro, get the face tracking, level up your game, man. You could be like the only mute in the whole game that does that.
You know, I don't need the competition.
Oh shit. Okay, FFB. Oh shit. Don't need the competition. All right, I got you.
I'll keep all the cool tactics myself.
Oh shit, got the hand ASMR, got the videos, got the eye tracking, face tracking. Holy shit. Damn. All right. No competition allowed. FFB's like, yo, fuck these bitches, man. I'm the only one.
Oh no. Oh no.
I gotcha. Listen, when you take off the cuteness, you're cold-hearted. You're like, yeah, you get pulled the knife. You're like, yeah, you better not get full body track. I'm gonna fuck you up, bitch. I get you.
No.
Well, anyway, do you have more plans in the future for world creation and avatar creation? I noticed you've been working hard in creating your own D&D map because you've showed it to me, and obviously you've done a lot of stuff with your avatars as well. So do you have any more plans for 2023 for that, or either of those?
So, my stupid D&D map needs to be done already.
Yeah.
It pretty much is as well. Like, if you guys like Dungeons and Dragons and you want to come play in VR, go to my map. It has everything you need to play the game in virtual reality. It has custom system that I wrote in C# to import your own custom characters, so you can actually have your character sheet in game with all the information you'd have normally at a table. Has all the dice, has all the stats for all the monsters, has every single mini for every monster in the monster manual. It's all there. So it's complete with animated maps. Like, hopefully, I hope people use it.
What's your world called?
It's PC only. I have optimized it for Quest though, which I don't know if I can, to be honest, with the state it's in. But I wanted to be done with that project so I can start new stuff. In fact, my next thing I'm hoping to do is I'm building some virtual reality gloves. There's a project called Lucid VR, and it is a DIY project for building finger tracking and haptic gloves. So they just released their prototype 5 documentation like a couple weeks ago. I've got all my parts. I've got a 3D printer. I'm gonna print it all out, put together some gloves, and I want to build a world that can interact with, through OSC, with the haptic feedback on the gloves. So you can actually pick up objects and have it stop your fingers around the boundaries of an object. So it actually feels like you're holding something in your hand. And so that might be my next project, is working on an interface for haptic feedback on gloves, so that people who have this and gloves in the future, there will be hopefully a sort of framework I can package up well enough to give to other world creators to do haptic feedback on gloves. That's the next thing I think I want to do.
I think you're also going to use it for your visual ASMR. Let's be real. You have the VR gloves. You know, you're going to...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, level up. Better Firefox Blue hand ASMR. I'm all for it. There's a lot of things listen, I need... Come on. Index 2 come out already, dude. We need better hand tracking, bro. Like, this is pretty good, but, like, I can never do, like, the... You know, like, in Star Trek... I'm not a Trekkie, but my mom was, but... That you can't do the live long and prospers, man. You can't spread your fucking fingers, bro. What the fuck, man? What is this bullshit? So
yeah, the gloves I'm looking to build will add display.
Hell yeah.
Because their prototype 4, that's been out for a while, actually did not add any functionality or features over the index. So it's like, it's not worth bothering. But their latest prototype did add display. So
Nice.
you can do the live long and prosper, which is why I decided to build it. And it's been an anticipated feature of prototype 5 for a long time, so I've kind of been following that whole community.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just like, you know, the Trekkie thing. I'm more thinking of usefulness for like the deaf community in VR chat, because before the index, I've interviewed Ray is Deaf. He's a prominent member in the deaf community for Helping Hands and stuff. And I remember like 4 or 5 years ago, he had an avatar which just had like 30 gestures on it with the Vive, and it just cycled between all these different... This is before even 3.0 avatars. And that's how he would just interact with people. It would just like cross the finger. Like, you can't cross your fingers. You know how like when you like lie and you put your finger... You can't do that. That's not a thing you can do in index. And that's an important part of signing for the deaf community of ASL, American Sign Language. And they can't do that. So they had to like use this really janky, weird system. And then when the index came out, it allowed signing to be better, but still there's some things that they kind of just have to like make up or change, or I can't do sign language. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Laz, other people can agree that it's not perfect. They kind of have to like make up like their own VR chat jargon, language for VR chat and stuff like that, the index. And I do think that if VR gloves were a thing and more accessible, I definitely think a lot more people from the deaf community or hard of hearing or ASL community would greatly benefit from that, because then they can actually do even more accurate tracking.
In the next 3 years, some point between now and 3 years from now, I think we will have finger tracking gloves that allow for ASL unmodified to be done here in VRChat. I think that will happen in the next 3 years, between now and 3 years from now. I don't know when, because the gloves I'm making, they don't support, because I feel like to really track your finger, you actually want to have 2 different variables for curl, one for your first knuckle and another variable for the other 2 knuckles that do more or less articulate together. So that plus splay would help, or do some sort of absolute positioning of your fingertips. So whatever method you use. But I think we will see that in the next 3 years in a commercial product. There was stuff on CES that was promising that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see what actually happens, but I think it's coming soon.
Yeah, like it was my final note about it. It was a couple months ago. VRChat allowed for Quest 2 to have finger tracking. Like you don't use the controllers, you just use your fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't.
We already do see it with the Quest.
Yeah. So I don't know how accurate it was. It's just a video I saw that blew up. It was I can't remember the creators, but it was basically two furries that were in the home world, and they were both using sign language, and they both could actually sign to each other pretty accurately just using the Quest 2, just finger tracking. The interesting thing is that it had no controllers, so you actually had to do everything, like every movement with like your finger. I don't know how that worked, way over my head. But they were able to do sign language using just the Quest 2 finger tracking, and that video blew up. It got like, I can't remember, like almost 1 million views on Twitter and like hundreds of thousands of likes and all that stuff. And I was very impressed. I was like, oh my God, like this is the future, man. Like,
So camera-based hand tracking, it's kind of good, but it also kind of has issues. I could see it being pretty useful for ASL, but it definitely has issues with like, it can't track this.
Yeah, it can only be in front of you.
Behind my head. So we'll see. I feel like there's definitely this like a lot of tracking. A lot of people want to use cameras, do inside out tracking, or like whatever. But then there's also using other sensors, from lighthouses to IMU to Hall effect, whatever, to like using gloves. We'll see who really wins out. Cameras can do a lot of things, but they do have some fundamental issues with what they cannot do. So we'll see if gloves do win over in that market space. They are going to be more expensive and probably more niche, but potentially much higher fidelity and also better response time, less processing needed. They can be tracked outside of the view of a camera, but we'll see what happens. Inside out tracking is seeing a lot of development and a lot of improvement, even for just doing full body tracking based off of cameras on your headset. So we'll see where that really ends up, I guess, in the coming years.
Yeah, I think maybe they'll just use both. Like maybe they'll develop a headset that uses both inside-out tracking and the lighthouses. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll do both. I don't know. It seems like companies and headsets.
Lighthouse tracking.
Yeah, like it seems like they usually pick one or the other. I'm always curious, like, why don't they just use both? Maybe it like conflicts. Maybe the headset explodes when you use both. I don't know.
Because lighthouse tracking, I mean, it definitely has its issues for sure.
Yeah.
It could definitely be improved upon. Everyone has had their hip go flying off to the ceiling, or one of their feet or whatever lose tracking. Like, it's a common problem with the technology. So there's definitely room for improvement. Lighthouse tracking is not the be all end all. It's definitely the best I've seen so far for VR tracking, but we'll see if that changes.
I gotcha. So my next question is, I think I asked this 2 years ago, but just as a quick reminder, what's so appealing about latex? Like, why is it such a big focus on your avatars? And I just want to know. You got to refresh my boomer mind.
It is a pretty common and consistent theme. I don't know, it's sexy. It's shiny. I feel like it accentuates the human figure
Uh-huh.
in a very flattering way.
You have some latex IRL
Especially,
too?
I don't know.
There's a long pause there. Yeah. I already knew it. Okay, listen, they probably got like 15 suits to get everything, you know?
No, I don't have. I did buy
Thigh highs?
latex thigh highs at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But they are actually super annoying. Latex is very sexy, but also kind of the worst.
Yeah, you need to put baby oil on
Um,
that. Some powder.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do have some sexy clothes and stuff. Not that I have to get into it.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah.
I do
okay.
enjoy latex.
Listen, I
and
know.
especially
Go
your
on.
chat. It's
okay.
a fun thing.
Alright. Yeah, reflection probes. It reflects a lot of the world lighting, you know what I'm saying? Mat caps and stuff. Yeah, I have some friends that wear high heels when they play VR chat, and they're full body, and they're latex high heels, 18-inch
Oh, yeah.
stilettos, you know? Yeah, like
Oh, I
those.
definitely have high heels on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
And I wear high heels when I play VR chat. Because, one, it makes you look sexy. It makes you walk sexy.
Uh-huh.
And if you have an avatar that has high heels, if your gait doesn't match and the articulation of your ankles and stuff doesn't match, like, IRL,
Uh-huh.
to me, it just lowers the level of immersion.
Makes
and I'm
sense.
spending $1,000+ just on 11-point tracking. I'm spending a ton of money on index controllers. I'm building my own gloves. I have phase tracking. Everything I'm doing is to like increase my immersion and the accuracy of the representation of my body and physical movement in VR. So wearing high heels when I have avatars with high heels is like an obvious thing to do for me.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Okay.
Especially when I dance. I way prefer dancing in heels. It just totally
How am I
changes
supposed to
how your
fit all
body
of you in
moves.
such a tight little space?
Appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dusty Dust Bunny, for the raid. I appreciate that. Yeah, I believe it. I've had several friends that literally stream dancing with high heels on. They said like it's just, you know, more immersive. And then when they unmute, you just hear the big steppies, and you're like, oh shit, bro. I wish I was under them. But anyway, yo, Dust Bunny, thanks for the fat raid. I appreciate that. We're talking to rendering Firefox Blue, the one and only. So, anyway, back on track here. What are you into? Sorry, how are you? Well, I just wrote this like really. Sorry, my own question was like very grammatically incorrect. So I saw that you were making a recent outfit, and it's a spacesuit. So, how'd you come up with the idea of why a spacesuit? I should probably check my own questions and why I wrote them like so fucked up. But anyway, why a spacesuit?
It's still a work in progress. Space is just one of my many fascinations. I hate to admit it, I am a SpaceX fangirl. I think the recent developments of that company have, I mean, if nothing else, they have brought a ton of attention to the aerospace industry. And I'm a huge sci-fi nerd. I love Star Trek. I love Star Wars. I love Stargate. Pretty much any, even slightly popular sci-fi
Spaceballs?
series I'm in love with. Yeah, Spaceballs is great. I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm just a huge sci-fi nerd.
Yeah. I have a friend in VR chat who actually works at NASA. You know, that's pretty sick. Her name is Rachel.
Oh, wow. I would love to talk to them, honestly. That would be so cool.
Maybe I could hook that up one day. She was the recent rover that landed on Mars Perseverance or something like that, I think. She was part of that team. I have like 16 of them.
Oh, wow. wow.
Yeah. So she was the
That
one
is,
that
that's actually amazing.
help land it and monitor it and take photos and stuff like that. And she was showing me a bunch of stuff. She's like, "This is government secrets." I was like, "What the hell?" And she was like, "Look, this is a picture of Mars right now." I was like, "What the fuck, huh?" Because when I first met her, I was kind of like, you know how it is. Like some people are, you don't know anything. I mean, people look like some crazy, whatever avatar, and you don't believe it. And then she started talking, and then she started like took me to like a Mars world with like the rover, and she could name every single part of that rover. She says, "Yep, this is this." This. I was like, "There's no way this is just some nerd." She's like, "No, I work for NASA." I was like, "Oh shit, okay." So
It is a nerd though, but a super nerd. A professional nerd.
yeah, super nerd. That's right. Yeah, it was crazy. I was just like, damn. I met someone who works for NASA. Like, what the fuck? I met a doctor once in VR chat, a heart surgeon. Just crazy shit you see in VR chat. I'm just like, man. I meet all these people who are like way up here in like the totem pole in terms of like jobs and importance in the world. I'm just like, dude, I'm like fucking in the ground, dude. What the fuck am I talking to this person? Am I in the right area? Did I stumble into some like the wrong convention? Like, bro, I'm like sneaking in or something, dude.
It is amazing the variety of people you get to meet in this game from all walks of life.
Oh, absolutely.
You have a bunch of big nerds, scientists. I've met a lot of game developers. And like, yeah, you just meet all sorts of interesting
Yeah, I met
people.
FFB, this person that's really cool that does the visual ASMR. It was pretty lit. Yeah, their name is FFB. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So my next question is, how do you feel about your community over your journey as becoming a Twitch streamer?
I think they're all like must have been knocked in the head. I have no idea why they watch me.
Oh, okay.
I have mad imposter syndrome. My community must be crazy. The amount of support and honestly, I have the sweetest, best community ever. They're so supportive and kind, and it's weird to know that there are so many people that you can never pay back for the support they give you, for the amount of love and just straight up paying for my bills, my life. The financial support I have received is insane. And they tell me it's like, no, you don't owe us anything. We're doing this because your content. We enjoy it. We want to see more. We want to see you do well. And it is so amazing to feel that kind of love from so many people. It is such a weird experience. This like streamer viewer experience. And like I feel so indebted to them all the time, but they keep watching me and they keep giving me money and I don't know why.
I just want to support you,
Which is why obviously they're crazy.
I'm crazy too. I interview people. I'm insane. But my next question is, what advice would you give to someone who is who's a mute and wanting to unmute, as someone who has unmuted? What's your advice, if you have any?
Have an emotional breakdown on stream in front of 1,000 people.
All right.
That's literally, I don't know, that's how I unmuted. I can't say it's the best way to do it, but if you want to unmute for whatever reason, if you're like me and you just want to develop your voice, I don't know. I don't think there's a huge reason to do it so publicly the way I did. Find people you trust, talk to them, find an environment where you feel safe, and you can do it consistently and every day. And just try and grow that circle out. It doesn't need to be a huge switch that you flip on or off. It It can just be whenever you're comfortable. I'm trying to find places and people you can be comfortable with, I guess. But honestly, I don't have great experience. It's not how you did it. I had the equivalent of a minor emotional breakdown where I was feeling hurt, I was feeling pain, and I just needed my anguish to be heard, which is so stupid and melodramatic and whatever. Cringe is whatever. But, I don't know. I just got to a point where I felt like I needed to be heard. And I kind of kept with it because I knew that now that I had unmuted, there was nothing left to hide. I could just work on who I want to be. I could work on my voice, whatever. So, I will say, if you want to unmute, go for it though. You will not regret it. It will help you connect with people more easily. It will help you develop the person you want to be. I mean, people have a lot of different reasons for wanting to be a mute. So, yeah, I hope that you can find friends and people you trust that you can share your life with, and being able to be vocal, it really helps deepen those connections. You can have very deep relationships without talking, you can, but it makes it easier. It lowers a lot of just the friction that not being able to talk kind of has. Especially if you're like me, I'm not mute because some loss of hearing or some other condition that so I never learned ASL to the point where I was ever close to fluent at all. So I didn't even have that proficiency of language to rely on to have that connection. So yeah, unmuting changed my relationships with people, and all for the better. So there's not any person in my life where I feel like unmuting worsened my relationship with that person. So at least I can say it will help you in your ability to connect with people. So it's definitely something to look forward to if it is something you want to do.
I gotcha. What is the biggest compliment someone has given you about your streams or content?
Did they watch it at all?
They watch it at all? Oh my goodness.
I really don't know. I have received a ton of warm and loving messages from people who have just said they made me happy. Or I made them happy, I guess. Or I helped them out through stuff. And it is really good to know that as ridiculous as I am, and as ridiculous as my streams are, sometimes it seems like I'm just like another vain, egocentric person just flapping their gums in the breeze. But somehow it's helped people. And I've had people help them understand more about transitioning and their own desires, and I'm really glad that I was able to illuminate some of that for some people. It's all a mystery to me and a mess, but I guess being able to be open about those kinds of things has helped other people explore that. And that is very deeply meaningful to me.
Oh, I gotcha. We're coming up on the almost 2 hours. It's been an hour and 41 minutes. Can you believe that? That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy, Firefox. What the heck? I'm just saying that because we're gonna still go for another 10-15 minutes. I just want to obviously quickly ask you one more question, and then we'll go and ask some questions from the chat, audience, stuff like that. So I always ask this. You don't have to. I always bring it up. Do you have any questions for me? Obviously, I've been asking you questions. So you have anything you want to know about me before we get to the chat questions?
So, I don't know. I feel like me and you talked privately for like a couple hours a while ago. I don't really have a lot of follow-ups.
Okay.
I feel like
Yeah, we talked privately.
I should have
A lot of things
prepared a
happened.
question for you.
It was, yeah, a lot of things happened that day. No one will never know. Shh, it's a secret.
So, no,
What?
I'll go easy mode, and I will turn one of your questions back on.
Whoa.
Why
Yeah.
do you like latex?
What the fuck? What? You're projecting. This is not. What are you talking about? Huh?
Come on, Rebel, you gotta answer it, man.
Okay, I'll answer the question. What do I don't know. To me, I've never tried latex IRL. I just thought it would look sexy on an avatar, so I put it on my avatar. That's basically it. Also, it's because of Fallen. He's the one who got me into it, okay? It's all his fault. He's in the audience, dude. He always says, man, you look sexy with latex on, bro. So, it's all his fault, bro. Yeah, that guy right there, dude. That guy right there, man. It's all his fault. I don't know. I just saw you and other people streaming with latex, and I was like, huh, it looks interesting with the reflection probes and, you know, how it looks on an avatar. So I have one avatar. I actually have multiple, I guess you could say, technically, that have latex. It's just something I wanted to try. It just looks good, looks sexy. Would I ever try IRL? I have no idea. I'm going to be honest. Sounds like a pain in the ass. And also someone in my chat earlier, how do you know what latex is like? How do you know you got to use oil and baby powder? I talked to a lot of people. It's called socializing in a social game. And when you talk to people who love latex, that's how you know. There you go. I'm being transparent.
Kind of like one of my older avatars. So obviously my older base has eye tracking, but I didn't have face tracking working on it, which is a big reason why I switched to my new model.
Yeah.
But I still need to put this outfit on my new avatar. This is one of my favorites.
Damn, son. Sheesh. It's getting hot in here, bro. What are you doing to me, FFB? What the hell? Anyway, so any chat questions? Let me see. Sorry, that's called acting, guys. I was just acting. So we have a question from Josh here. It says, Firefox Blue, with how far you've come, where do you see the future of your streaming life going? Is there anything in the future you hope to achieve?
Well, I personally need to be more consistent as a streamer.
Yes.
And you know, I have a lot of potential to grow and stuff, but I just need to be a better streamer, and hopefully I can just grow a little. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I want to grow my YouTube channel. I want to be a little bit better at utilizing other platforms and stuff like TikTok and Twitter and whatever. Other than that, I don't know, just kind of see where it takes me.
I gotcha. All right. Let me see here. Is there any streamers you look up or admire in this entertainment space?
There are a lot. Mostly other VR chatters like Jade and Autumn. Obviously Crumpet, I have a ton of respect for him. And Mango has been a friend from the very beginning of my streaming career as well. I love Snowbreeze. I could just shout out a list of streamers that I'm sure you're already very familiar with, but I honestly, I'm not much of a Twitch person. So outside of my friends and this community, I really don't know anyone. So it's mostly a lot of my friends, I guess.
I gotcha. There's actually a question for me. Whoa, for once in these chat questions. Rebel, what are some qualities about Firefox Blue that you admire? And is there anything about them that makes them stand out from other streamers in your eyes? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, what makes Firefox Blue so special, huh? Yeah, where's some qualities?
What on earth makes her think she's so special?
Yeah, what makes me think that...
You can just skip that. We just go
Yeah.
dot dot dot. Well, not really anything
Yeah.
in particular.
Yeah. No, on a real note, I just like talking to FFB and people like them, like her, because she's a good listener, you know? She likes to talk about herself, and she's also a developer, you know? She likes developing avatar stuff, world stuff, which I had to I used to make worlds 3 years ago. Obviously I just pay people nowadays. But, and I remember, you showing me your world. It was completely off stream. You showed me not just your world, but also like other things you're developing. Like you're showing me like a beach thing, like water technology. You wanted to test some like water tech. I remember like that was completely off stream. No one knows about that until now, but that was fun, or just someone to talk to, I just like talking to you and hanging out with you. And I thought to myself, shit, when was the last time I interviewed FFB? Oh, it's been 2.5 years. I thought maybe I should bring them back on and see what they've been up to in the last 2.5 years. And here we are. I just like talking to you. I think what you do is incredible. With the visual ASMR stuff, whether you like to play guitar, having a face tracking, eye tracking, that's something that interests me, that I'm surprised more people, like I said, don't. Obviously it's a niche, but I'm just surprised more people don't invest into that. You're someone that's always developing something, always have a goal in mind, and I always admire and I always appreciate people that always have something they're working on. Because, obviously we're kind of out of the pandemic now, but, a year or 2 years ago when the pandemic was more apparent, I remember a lot of people always telling me, I'm so bored, I'm so depressed, I have nothing to do. And I always told people, make yourself busy, have a goal in mind, do something. And what did I do? I ran a talk show. I had 2 avatar showcases. I did like an improv show once. I did all these different things. I was role playing. I was always working on a goal and stuff like that. So I always like people that take initiative and work towards something. And that's why I liked talking to FFB off stream or on stream, because they have those types of qualities, and I'm always going to appreciate someone that is always developing and has a lot to say about themselves. That was a very worded answer, but yeah, that's why I like the qualities of FFB. Let me check these other ones real quick, because there's a lot. There's basically one individual is running a lot of questions. I don't know if we can get through them all, Josh. I apologize. Hopefully, we got through as many as we could here. Oh, here we go. We have one from Gunblader. So, because he wrote like 8 questions, so I'm trying to get other people's questions as well. So, Gunbladder, 123 asks, what were Firefox Blue's favorite places to dance in when they did?
So, I mean, my one favorite world it's still pretty popular. It's the DJ Lucas world, that dance stage.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely my go-to. I am not a huge fan of Just Dance, especially for learning.
Okay.
I know those Just Dance worlds are really popular and they are really fun, and I like doing them with friends, but I kind of like dancing to my own music. I have pretty broad taste in music, but when it comes to dancing, I have very specific taste. So, a lot of that music you don't really find in those kinds of worlds. So, and I also like YouTube videos are great. So, having there's a dance studio world that I'll use that just has a nice big video player and a big mirror and like a dance studio. So I've looked up all sorts of dancing in heels, I've looked up stripper routines, I've looked up ballet, all sorts of videos of styles and things I want to implement. How to twerk, how to body roll, how to whatever. So many things
Twerk.
that it probably would be good to have a professional teacher. And
Okay.
I would love to get involved with the dance studio in VR chat. But YouTube tutorials are a pretty good way to like break things down and like learn a lot of stuff. Just how to move your body, I guess. But yeah.
I remember watching some of those dance streams. I was like, damn, if FFB knows how to work it. Sheesh, god damn. I wish I was there in front of my eyes. Just me? Okay, whatever. I'm just speaking
I
out
don't know,
loud.
I feel like my dancing is not very sexual. I enjoy
What do you
sexual
mean? What do
dancing,
you
don't get me
mean?
wrong.
It doesn't have to be sexual.
It's definitely more stage dancing. I don't know, sorry. Just the reaction you had was like, oh, I wish I was there. They're
Oh, I'm just
dancing on
role
my
playing. I'm just,
face.
yeah. What do you mean? Listen, I'm a streamer. I gotta appeal in the
What do you
market, you know.
mean?
What do you mean? Oh, what do you forget about it? Hey, whatever, you know. Anyway, moving on. Is there any questions in the audience? Anybody have any questions for FFB here tonight? All right, Fallen. What's your question? Oh, I have to amplify his voice. Almost forgot. There you go. You got it. Go ahead.
I do have a question. Where do you see yourself like from 10 to 5 years from now? Like what is your goal in that span?
5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time away.
Yeah, I'll
10
be in
years,
the
I have no
metaverse.
idea.
Yeah.
I guess be somebody's sex slave pet
Huh?
in their mansion.
Oh shit. Okay. In the mansion or in the dungeon?
In their dungeon, yeah. Well, in the
Oh
mansion, yeah. Definitely
shit.
dungeon,
Damn.
yeah.
What the hell?
I'll just be someone's pet.
What the?
No.
Oh my god. What the hell?
Um,
What? That's my fantasy. What the? How'd you know?
oh no.
Yeah, I want to own a mansion and have a little creature in the dungeon. I feed scraps to, and they go, and I'm like, you know.
More seriously though, I hope I can continue
Uh-huh.
learning for like developing both on like coding in C# and Udon Sharp and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
3D modeling, I have really taken a love of, or like I found a love for. I hope at some point I can leverage those skills as well as my content creation. Maybe become an avatar maker or world maker with a Patreon. Maybe work for some game studio at some point. I don't know. In the like 10 years from now. So, but I'm also happy to just kind of see where streaming takes me. So far, it's been enough to pay the bills, and I can't really ask for more than that. So, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at, and I'm, you know, hopefully I can develop my skills so I can,
Okay.
I don't know, become a developer, I guess, in the long run. Because I
can
don't see
that.
myself streaming 10 years from now, but who knows? Maybe I will.
You'd be an AI. It'd be an artificial intelligence. You'd be like, hey, I'm Firefox Blue, and I'm here to give you visual ASMR. I'm like, oh my god, is my personal Firefox Blue to follow me around? Sick. See, my plan is in 5 and 10 years, I'm going to become a big, massive streamer. I'm going to own a mansion. And then have a big basement for all my friends to party in. Yeah.
There you
And
go.
nothing else happens. Nothing else particularly happens in these said spaces. But yeah, totally. That's me. No, the real answer, 5-10 years, hard for me to say, because I always think of like at least 1 year in advance, but not really like the far, because in 10 years, man, I'm going to be like 38, man. I'm going to be fucking middle-aged as fuck, dude. Who knows where I'll be in 10 years, 10 years ago, I was 17 in high school, starting a YouTube channel, like, hey guys, I like playing video games. And now 10 years later, I'm a fucking anime girl, big bazonkas, and fucking interviewing people. I don't fucking know what I'm in 10 years, man. I could be on fucking Mars or some shit. I don't know. I think 10 years, 5, 10, if I still stream at that point, who knows? Probably like I'll just do what I be doing now, like interviewing people, being a VTuber, hopefully doing more stuff like that. If I can, well, my job is what this is now, but if I can make it more sustainable and do it for like the rest of my life and, have a nice retirement fund, then I would still do it. I would love talking to people. I love generally having deep conversations with people and listening to their stories and what makes them tick and stuff like that. So if I can still continue to do what I do now in 5 to 10 years, I'll be pretty satisfied with my life and have more plans of doing, bigger ideas. Maybe I'll do some charity stuff and stuff like that. But anyway, we're coming up on almost 2 hours for 5 minutes from there. So I always give the guests, you FFB, a chance, an opportunity here. Is there any final words, anything you would like to say to all the people watching out there or people watching the VOD in the future and stuff like that?
Follow and sub to Rebel. He's got a great channel. He's a great guy.
Oh, thank you.
Any gifters?
Yeah, any giftas? We don't get giftas around here, but if I did, I'll shit myself. Oh yeah, there's one last thing. Someone wanted to ask Jib. If there's time, what's the store in FFB got their name? So how'd you get the name FFB or Firefox Blue? Quickly before people are like, oh my god, that's such a good question.
Okay,
Yeah.
So before my first VR chat name was my gamer tag from whatever. Was actually Yog Sothoth of all things.
What? Okay.
Yog Sothoth. So it was a eldritch entity from the Lovecraft.
Oh.
Mythos.
Okay.
And I picked that name because of all the elder gods or elder things or whatever. It was specifically gendered female, even though all of them were genderless. But nobody knows that. So it was my way of having a feminine name without even having anyone else know. It's just like a thing to myself. But people kept asking me, like, oh, Yog Sothoth, that's such a weird name. It's not very cute. So I eventually decided, as I started playing VR chat, that I'm like, oh, I want something a little more user-friendly, easy to remember. So I just picked something that was like gender-neutral and mundane and easy to remember. And Firefox is a cute name, and it's like fox, and I'm like, oh, I like foxes. And at the time, I was already like using fox girl avatars, so I just picked something that was really easy to remember and my favorite color. So that simple.
Makes sense. All right. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the interview tonight with Firefox Blue. Thank you so much. Get a round of applause from the audience, people in the chat. Get some clappers going on. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Firefox Blue, for the interview tonight. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I enjoyed my time here. Yeah, we went for 2 hours. Holy smokes. That means we had a really good conversation going on. Time flies when you're having fun, So I appreciate it. Shout out to Firefox Blue. That is Firefox_Blue on Twitch. Go check them out whenever they stream next. Maybe you tune in, maybe give them the sub, maybe some biddies, maybe they'll do some hand ASMR for you, play a little bit of guitar, all that good stuff. Or, catch them on Murder Crumpet stream. Usually you're in the background doing your thing.
Yeah, so. I orbit them pretty regularly these days.
But yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Take care, everybody. I love you all. Mwah. Take care, everybody. I love you. Thank you all for the follows, the subs. All my Patreon, shout out to them for supporting me. And we're going to go raid somebody. And before I forget, after the beat, if you can stick around for just one more minute, because I'm going to take a photo of every guest, I do that. But let me find someone to rate real quick.